there's a brand new car on the American scene. With 18 models, every one of them keen. It's in between the small and the big. It's a right-sized car, a car people dig. The name of this car, why, it's called the Belvedere. Brand new from Plymouth, and the Belvedere is here. The Belvedere is here, here, here.
It's here, all right, and you can bet a lot of people will dig the Belvedere because it's a right-sized, family-sized car on a 116-inch wheelbase. It's Plymouth's new entry in the red-hot intermediate size field. Here is the face of the Belvedere. Notice the convex shape of the anodized aluminum grille and those great big headlamps. They're 7 inches in diameter. From the side, this is the low, lean look of the Belvedere 2. The stem-to-stern side molding is anodized aluminum to resist corrosion. There's aluminum round back, too, with broad bands of it stretching between the license plate and the tail lamps. The lamps are encased in bright chrome to form an attractive cube shape. Let's go back to the front end. See that narrow ridge running down the front fender? You can show prospects how the ridge lets the driver know exactly where the front end is and eliminates the right-hand blind spot. The fenders form sort of eyebrows over the large single headlamps and enclose them in the same cube shape we saw around back. You'll see a lot more of that crisp cube-like style note. And another new note is the durable high-gloss buffable paint called acrylic enamel, usually found only on high-priced cars, that is now used on all Plymouths to make it easy to keep that new car look. Even after 5 years, a good buffing will restore most of the original gloss. That's a prospect pleaser because it helps keep resale value up. Let's go around back again and take a look at the trunk's luggage capacity. There's a lot of stowaway space in there, and for people...
For heads, hips, and legs, there's enough room and more. You're surrounded by comfort from the roof to the floor.
These are big, roomy intermediates, and 3 adults ride in comfort in this rear compartment. That luxuriously deep rear seat cushion is more than 5 feet wide. Big up front, too, with more room for heads and space for hips than in any of the Ford or GM intermediates. And that seat is Plymouth's famous 6-way adjustable that can be tailored to fit the individual owner's dimensions. When a prospect sits on one of those front seats, show him how easy the instrument panel dials are to read and how he can reach all the controls without stretching. Also point out how the slightly rectangular gauges grouped within that bright rectangular frame carry out the crisp cube-like styling found throughout the Belvedere. Except in satellite models, all Belvederes equipped with automatic transmissions now have a selector lever and illuminated quadrant mounted on the steering column. Speaking of models, let's see how the members of the Belvedere family identify themselves. Here's Belvedere 1 with an aluminum side molding and front fender nameplate. Belvedere 2 has a full-length paint-filled side molding, a stainless steel sill molding, chromed rear pillar strip, and front fender nameplate. Next we have...
Now poised right here, all ready for flight, a glamour car, the new Satellite. Go into orbit, I should say it will. The new Satellite'll give anyone a thrill.
Let's put the Satellite right in the family picture. The belt moldings and the wheel opening and sill trim are of stainless steel. There are slim louvers on the rear quarter panel and a nameplate up front. Wheel covers have spinner hubs standard. As the man said, it is a glamour car. It comes in a Sun and Fun convertible model, too. Here's a car you can get buyers to step up to. In the true sports car tradition, bucket seats and console are standard on the Satellite. Notice how the Belvedere cube-like motif decorates the seat backs. The selector lever for both automatic and 4-speed manual transmissions is located on the console, which also contains plenty of storage space for small articles. And linked to the Belvedere transmissions...
Now 7 different engines really open up the door to a range of performance from a ripple to a roar.
They sure do have a choice. Here is the economy leader, the 225 cubic inch 6-cylinder engine that's the standard 6 for Belvedere's 1 and 2. With an 8.4 to 1 compression ratio and a new camshaft design, it performs better than ever, especially at higher speeds. This is the high-spirited 273 cubic inch V8 with an 8.8 to 1 compression ratio. It is Belvedere's standard V8 and an excellent example of how Chrysler Corporation engineers can combine performance and economy. Sparkling performance is delivered by the optional 318 cubic inch engine. Compression ratio is 9 to 1. The 361 cubic inch power plant is another Belvedere option. Its compression ratio is 9 to 1, and its power doesn't need to be pampered because it runs just fine on regular gasoline. This power-packed option is the 383 cubic inch V8 with a 4-barrel carburetor, special camshaft, unsilenced air cleaner, and dual exhaust, and a 10 to 1 compression ratio. Here's the hot one. This optional 426 cubic inch V8 is the street version of Plymouth's Racing Champ and is equipped like the 383, but its compression ratio is 10.3 to 1. Of course, the even hotter drag strip and stock car versions of the 426 are available. There's more dependability in all of the Belvedere engines with new distributor caps that are highly resistant to current loss from spark jump. This improves ignition efficiency and wet weather starting. Inside the distributor, the breaker plate surface has a special finish that helps spark timing accuracy. The result is rapid acceleration with no tendency to lag when a sudden burst of speed is called for. The insulator tip surrounding the center electrode of the new spark plugs is shorter and less apt to erode. Plugs are easier to clean and their service life is increased. There's new electrical protection and a fusible wire safety link. It acts like a master fuse to protect all main electrical circuits from damage by short circuit. Small features up there on the screen, but they all contribute to more dependable operation. And there is a cleaner looking one-piece sealed battery cover that will look different when you lift the hood for a prospect. It provides better corrosion protection too, and near it is the new rigid plastic container for windshield washer fluid. It makes filling and checking the level of the fluid much easier. To make driving easier, there is the famed torque flight transmission. This year, the torque converter's stall speed has been increased to almost completely eliminate creeping when the car engine is idling. Straight stick fans can have a 4-speed floor-mounted manual transmission with the 361 and 383 V8s, and it's the standard transmission with the 426 high-performance engine. There's a wide choice of models in Plymouth's new intermediate line. Belvedere 1 has 6. Belvedere 2 has 10, spread over 2-door hardtops, 4-door sedans, convertibles, and wagons. The satellite models are a convertible and a 2-door hardtop.
18 Belvedere models, and what do you get? You get a middle-sized car that's the best produced yet. Tell 'em. It's one solid unit, the body and the frame not bolted together like others you could name. Show 'em. Give prospects a real ride with famed torsionaire. They'll swear the biggest bumps are not really there. Sell 'em. With high style and new paint, with big brakes and torque flight. All the things that mean so much and Plymouth does so right.
And remember, there isn't a longer wheelbase in the intermediate field. And even the GM and Ford entries don't have the hip room and headroom of the Belvedere. Remember, the Belvedere's wide range of engines gives buyers a choice of 7 different power plants. And that means there's one to match every type of driver and driving condition. And remember, there are a lot of drivers in the intermediate market. In 1964, intermediate sales have gained nearly 25%, as contrasted to the overall industry sales gain of less than 10%. That means you can sell a lot of Belvederes to a lot of people.
Put the people in the cars that are the stars of the middle-sized Belvedere line. All about the features tell 'em, and you certainly will sell 'em. And your pockets with big money you will line. Your pockets with big money you will line.